The Lord designed a system by which it will work. He said the best way is to make that soul, one soul, enlightened, and work in me, replace that soul with myself. How will it be done? Giving him all the experiences through which the creation has gone through, and by doing that, make him work for me. And I will create a human being, ordinary human being, just like anybody else, but with the knowledge who he is, with the knowledge right to the top who is working. And he will acknowledge this. He is not the human being working, it is God himself working. He will have personal experience of that. And he will then go and pick the souls by ordinary human methods and will not disturb the rest of the creation. So the whole system was created by which perfect living masters came. And how did they work? That an individual soul, unaware of its destiny, is picked up because of a lot of karma, of course, and a few other considerations, but mostly arbitrary. A person, individual, is picked up, is born, and happens to meet a person who is already working in that capacity as a perfect living master, gets initiated, gets experiences, gets to know the whole thing, and finds out he has a duty to perform, which he will not be performing, but the Creator himself is performing. We call that person a perfect living master. And such is the design that has been made, and it's working very well. Of course, all the conditions that were imposed are working. And still, when a perfect living master comes, in the system of time and space, he cannot come for all time, because he has to come as a human being. And he cannot come to all places, because a human being cannot serve all places. So he is designed to come into a certain area where those seeking souls are located, and he has to pick up the souls who he will pick up. And since the Father is doing his own work, he prepares a list. What can be done by this particular individual, in this particular area, in this particular time? And a short list is made up. And the short list contains the list of the names of those souls who are to be picked up. So handed over to that human being, and he goes about looking at that list and saying, these souls are embodied in these places, because he is not using his eyes, he is not using his mind, he is not using his body, he is being guided by the total power of consciousness to pick up those souls where they are. He designs incidents in life, alters destinies if necessary, alters destinies from ab initio if necessary, to make sure those souls come into contact with him. And when they come into contact, they are of course beset, like everybody else, with their minds. They all have doubts, fears, skepticism. He doesn't care. He says, that's the negative power's role. That's not my role. He divides the role into two parts. The role of Kal, time, and the role of Dayal, the merciful one, the one who has come to take us back. And divides the two roles. He says, I have nothing to do with the role of a mind. My role is with the soul. I am going to take the soul back home. I am not taking the body back home. I am not taking the mind back home. I am not taking anything else. I am not taking this world back home. My role is limited to taking the marked soul back home. Therefore, by coincidences and strange quirks of destiny, those people who are on the marked list, they turn up, have some kind of a contact, and he grants them a formal contact called initiation. It's a formal thing because he's got the list. When somebody is carrying a list and is bound to pick that person up, how can you say that he has to select anybody? They are pre-selected. They're already on the list. But he does the formality and does the formalities of instructions, of initiations, of these things. That's the role of a perfect living master. And you will be amazed how this smoothly the system works. And therefore, he does his job, takes the souls home. In the process, of course, because he is the same power. He is holding in his consciousness the same power. Many other souls come and listen to him. So many are called to him by the very fact he's there. But they are not all the chosen ones whom he takes home. He has to take home the chosen ones. What about the others? What happens to the others who happen to have the strange experience of coming into contact with the perfect living master? They are marked right from then. May not be by the same person, by not the same perfect living master, but they are bound to get initiated also, and they belong to the same 10% that will go back home.